So, hello everybody. Good evening. Hear me?
Yes, we can
Can
hear
you
you
hear
well.
me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so those new people, new for karma, this subject, or even maybe you hear many times. I think very important connect with cause and effect, you know, the all cause and effect, the all cause and conditions, we already know the obvious level. For instance, if we do farm work very well, we provide conditions very well, and then the harvest in the autumn, we have a very fruition. Similarly, in other people's mind, either your parents, your family, friends, anybody, your colleagues, anybody if you provide cause and conditions, like kindness, or you challenge them, have the different consequences. This is everybody know, there's no arguments. So I think we know everything when we learn in new, we connecting with something we already know. Take that as a basis to analyze and to example, to knowledges, I think make us understanding. So another way of look at the karma is be part of cause and effects. One way you can look at karma is bigger than cause and effect, but one other way I look at, you think cause and effect bigger than karma, so karma is a part of that. So how we look at that is, like farm work, harvesting, and then you have, you can make very good business, all of them, is they are not, themselves is not the karma. We can't say Ras is karma. We can't say April is karma. Of course, we can have this April because we have the karma. Or we can do this because we had karma. But you can't say directly say the orange is karma. The car is karma. You can't say that. In that way, is karma is be only part of the cause and effect.
appears we're having some connectivity issues. So hopefully it resumes. We're having some shared karma for Rinpoche's lack of connectivity. So hopefully we will resolve this and he will be right back. Wonderful. So we have Rinpoche back and we will just put him back on just a second. And hope that we have collective karma to hear this teaching.
Yeah, this is a good example. This is a good example because one condition is not present, then we all disconnected. Okay? So same, the karma, even you have the karma, it will not experience if you missing one condition. And they're waiting for this one missing condition. So that is good. Is tell us exactly what like. But the difference is this condition, we know what is missing this time. This is something not beyond the human capacity. But the karma, how works, and we only knows how works in general, because Buddha taught us, not just we know, but the small details go beyond human capacity to know. So that's also good to remind us. So continue the last topic. I say, sometimes you can know karma is a part of cause and effect, but also sometimes you can see karma is pervasive toward all cause and effect. So that means this moment of disconnecting internet also, if we didn't have karma, that will not happen. But we don't know exactly what the karma are. Not possible. It's too detailed, too small, too complicated. So then, today's our topic is reincarnation. So don't think something separated from karma. Don't think something is nothing to do with the cause and effect. Instead, is reincarnate means also the part of karma, part of cause and effect. So make sure always understood that way. And then people have trouble to understand the profundity of the karma, profundity of the reincarnation, the details of those. Is acceptable. We have to accept we have the limit capacity to understand these full details and the more precise details. But sometimes we don't want to accept, don't want to believe karma, reincarnation. Why we don't want to believe? That part, I think we should analyze. Two problems we can consider. If someone are born a Buddhist, failed and grow up there, and don't know many other knowledges, many other religion or other knowledges, philosophies. For those, that means no challenging what you believe in. So then is dangerous is you just believe without any thinking, without any logical. Why this is danger? Because just to believe that is not in danger is good, but the danger is you believe because you just blindly believe and you don't have any challenges your belief. So your belief, we don't know how strong on a first job. So if it's really strong, always have good result, good consequences. But if it's a first job, then like we are our unstable health, unstable personality, like that, becomes like that. That means if you have no challenges at all, maybe okay. But if you have challenges, then you become unstable. You could be becoming crazy sometimes. That's one thing. And the other hand, people born and grow, created God, no reincarnation, only heaven and hell. That kind of field, people born and grow up, also have very thick propensity in your mind. So that's why, that's the one of the reason you don't want to believe reincarnation. That's the one of the reason. Because not fitted in your habitual thinking. Not necessarily logical thinking, but your habitual thinking challenges. So you don't want that. Some things you didn't like in your religion, but there's alternative of saying that other idea in Buddhism. You like that one and you grab that one. But sometimes your habitual thinking is a challenge, like reincarnation, then, oh, no, you don't want. So that is dangerous. So we have to free from that habitual thinking. And then the other problem, we are so used to be human, so it's very hard to believe, oh, you could be next life as insects or other animals, or very dangerous, something you don't like the animal. You could be that, and you have been like that many times. You don't like that idea. Why you don't like? Because you have reasons. Of course you have reasons. But the reasons is not very, how do you call it, substantial. Not strong reasons. I mean, appears strong for you, but is not the strong such reasons. Also, it is challenges our perception. So that means the scientists say, oh, there's no color such thing. There's no such thing color and shape or is illusion. Even we cannot argue, we have to agree intellectually, but we cannot really understand. And our habitude of thinking, always we think there's a color. And we hold there very strongly, never let go. So it's the same thing when we say we have been held many times, innumerable times. A hungry ghost, animal, different animals, many things we have been. And we will be if we not really doing very special to liberate from karma. But as long as we are under control of the karma, then we have no choice to reincarnate. When we see this, we don't like that. We don't like this because this is beyond our capacity to see, to understand. That's the reason we don't like. Of course, anything up our capacity, out of our capacity, we don't like. When we don't like, then we try to not accept it. That's the one problem. So let's say ancient time, you are king, and you are very powerful king, and you have an incredible rich kingdom, and you conquered many countries. You are very proud, but somebody say, or somebody making something called nuclear weapon. So they're going to destroy, you know, from far away, no matter how much army you have, then you don't like that. And you don't want to believe that. You say, no, no possible. Nobody can challenge me. Until now and in the future, that's not possible that kind of weapons somebody can make. That time, because is absolutely new for us, is out of our capacity, it out of our, how you call, habitual believing, right? So don't want to believe. If someone say, hey, you really have to be careful, or maybe you better to surrender now, you know, you say, oh, no way. So kind of like that. So some things go beyond our capacity, and then we don't like to believe. There is a saying, Tibetan saying, "Tamnam tamchin dopi shoksu shet, chinnam tamchi ruglon." So which means all waters always go down, and people talk and only what they like, the direction of what they like. So similar meaning, they like within the capacity, don't like the out of the capacity. So same thing happens sometimes. You don't like believe reincarnation. Because it much simpler and easier. You say, oh, if I do be good, then I go to heaven, not going to hell. Then it's forever. Once I go to heaven, then it's forever and perfect. So easy and simple. Is not out of the capacity to believe that, or this idea, are normal humans. But what we didn't analyze is how can you believe the heaven rather than reincarnation? Reincarnation is much simpler than understandable. We can see the animals, but heaven nobody sees. It's much easier to believe reincarnation, but I think people don't because it's not your habit. So it's a new challenge, new idea, challenge. Okay? So if anybody like the logical way of thinking, logical way of thinking means nobody challenging you, very hard to challenge you, your idea. Then is the karma, reincarnation is much more understandable or logical and less challenges than creator, God create everything, and then we just go to hell and heaven, only that forever. That is many ways you can challenge that. So that means don't bother to study, don't bother to logic, And then just simple, then is that way easier. Easier, I mean, to believe. Could be blunt to believe, but is easier. So, but if you logical way, why is reincarnation is easier? As last week we talked about the karma. Say your own ongoing actions of body and speech mind is the creator. You don't need to find the creator elsewhere. You know, incredible complex of the universe. Even one atom inside have so much complex. Creator have to create all of them as that's too much. Even there's a million creators, still is too much. Even the billion creators, trillion creators, still is too much. But everybody is the creator, your own creator. That is much more logical, you know, if you like the logic. Also, it is fair if you create your own world, you can't blame anybody, it's you created yourself. But somebody else punish you, decide you, send it to heaven, decide, send it to hell forever. That is unbelievable. That is, it's not fair. because that means you have never freedom forever. It's not your freedom. Somebody else's decision. But the karma means you always have freedom, some degree of freedom you always have, and then finally you can have total freedom. So that is a little bit fair. Think about that. So reincarnation is just part of the karma, remember? So let's say we first we got some piece of ice. Then we put a pot on the stove and we heat up and then we melt the ice and become water and then boil water, long time, gone. No water anymore, no ice anymore. Where they go? They went in the air. Looks like vanished, but reality didn't vanish. They changed the form, went somewhere, and going somewhere, and contributed somewhere, maybe on the cloud, and come back again in your garden, and then your stomach, or this circle. This is we already know, we have no doubt. So think of reincarnation is like that. So why you have a doubt? You know? Logically shouldn't have a doubt the reincarnation. The only thing we don't know, which one, which actions we done exact reincarnation. Next, my reincarnation, just say tiger. Okay. How become a tiger exactly? Which karma? We don't know. That's difficult to know. But logically, yes, makes sense, become a tiger. Why? Because remember, karma is not simple. It's incredibly complex. And all cause and conditions, they work in, cooperating. Your innumerable lifetimes karma are cooperating. Which one is all suitable to become a tiger one is become tiger. But not forever, remember? It's not forever, it's temporary. It's temporary, just the same as our garden, our flower in the garden, you know? And our table, our cups and plate, our dishwash, chemical, medicine, chemical for wash, many things we put together as within the human capacity, within the human knowledge, we put together, it works, the purpose. So karma is think about is not our capacity, it is natural law which when it go together and then formed us, but it's only temporary. So same as you go to hell is temporary, go to hungry, born hungry ghost is temporary, born as insects, very temporary, maybe only one day. So what is the big dare one day be insects? Innumerable lifetimes you couldn't think about, and why you one day be insects? Why is it's big dare? You know, insects doesn't have very long lives. So then next one, insects, the next one could be king or queen, princess, prince, could be politician, could be poet, could be philosopher, could be scientist, could be anything. So what is the dare, big dare? Because usually we think, oh, no, I don't want it. I don't believe humans become animal. Huh? Then why you believe things can make plastic? Things can make many things. The recycled can make wood and become a house. Everything is temporary, everything is changed. Within the human capacity, we can change the distance, we can direct the distance. But without out of the human capacity, the natural law going. Our human capacity, doing things, build things, is still in, we play the natural law. Is not we completely destroy the natural law. Okay? No possible. If it's possible, we couldn't have these natural disasters, the fire, so many problems, flood, this disease. Think about COVID-19. That's very similar incredible small molecule, our whole world's knowledge and effort and money working for almost 1 year now, couldn't do it, couldn't kill, couldn't work out. Actually, we cannot make a vaccine yet, which means we cannot work exactly what happened, what happened, what made from this tiny one. If we have a karma, we can make the vaccine, but when we can make also depend karma. The same thing. I don't want to be animal. I don't want to be tiger. I don't want to be dog. I don't want to be insects. You have no choice. Because you done that action without you knowing. That's no choice. But don't worry too much. It's temporary, not forever like hell and heaven. It's not forever. Nothing's forever in what we know things, you know. All the human capacity we know, everything is not forever. Remember, everybody know there's no argument. Same thing at the subtle level, also not forever. So we have to understand that first. But then, okay, if I make good actions, good intentions, good actions mean basically mainly is your mind action. Why? Then I have a better rebirth. Because you doing better. You don't have full control of the karma, but you have some degree of, you decide, be very kind, very thoughtful, no selfish, and you do in that way. So you just in the karma, already you have innumerable karmas, you just in them, which means you increase in your positive karma and you decrease in the negative karma. So that's why you may have a better rebirth. And if this time we are very fortunate to a human, so we know how to motivate, how to pray, how to correct our intention. So that means then we wish a strong prayer, not only next rebirth is better, but then better and better and better and better. We can aim for that. But that only humans can do. That's why human birth is a pursuit. I think some people don't understand the human body is human birth is why a pursuit. There is many reasons, many numbers listed in Buddhist texts, in my book too. But the most simple way to understand animals, no matter how a great animal, you don't have this incredible intelligent, the human intelligent, working for future and correct, purify the past negative karmas and to plant, increase the positive karma for future. That's only human can do. When I say human can do, I'm not saying every human being on this earth can do that, no. But who is fortunate enough to understand in these logical teachings, these humans only can do. Animals, who knows, maybe trillions of animals inside, maybe there's some animals, maybe individual animals can do that, who knows? Maybe they are bodhisattvas. Because bodhisattvas, not a reborn animal, but manifest animal. So I tell you later, this we are very different. But normal animals cannot do that. So that's why human is better. Okay. Other people think I like the animal because when you have too much stress and too many mental problems, because of these humans' complicated life, then animals sometimes looks very peaceful, some animals, then you think that one better. Oh no, you mistake. These animals, even they have, you don't know their mind, but even there is peaceful in mind, that is temporary peaceful from ignorance. So that peaceful animal definitely no capacity to purify previous karmas, innumerable bad karmas they have, cannot purify, and you cannot plan the future good karmas. No possible. Basically, you cannot distinguish. So that's why should be happy about being human and try to be better human. Try to take the essence or advantage, take the advantage of, full advantage of the human birth. Also, don't think or too complicate the reincarnation and, become animal, become many other beings. That's too complicated. I don't like. I like the go to heaven. Yes, that you like, but is you like because of ignorance. Illogical. Not fit in the obvious existence in the world. So do you know what Buddha's teachings means? Buddha's teachings have three qualities. Something we humans can value it. The first one, Buddha taught over 2,000 years ago. He said things, science, like basic science. he or scientists today, 21st century, scientists cannot contradict what Buddha said. That's one quality. The other quality, no more our human beings, we can detect things. We cannot contradict Buddha. We cannot disagree anything. Next rebirth, future rebirth, these things is not capacity detected by normal human being, is not capacity of the scientist capacity, okay? But this is the only way we can understand or believe, because Buddhas all saying things, not contradiction. Everything fit in the nature. This logic we can take, and then Buddha said that reincarnation, then we must believe. On the top of that, we can put the logics I discussed. Everything we can, our level is fit there. That's why we have to believe. Because we don't have other option. Even we fully not understand it, we cannot fully directly detect, but we don't have other option. If you just say the other one, oh, go to heaven forever, go to hell forever, one easier, or no reincarnation, nothing, we just die and finish. We are just finished. That means we are just piece of wood, piece of rock. But even piece of rock, they never finish. Do you know that? As same as before I said, the piece of ice. Same thing, the rock. Same thing, the piece of wood. Same thing, leaf, piece of leaf, tree leaf. All of them never finish if we know that. I mean, piece of leaf, dry, and then, I don't know, become powder and gone. Yes, that form is finished, but it is not finished. Same as we are die, our human form is finished, but it doesn't mean we are finished. So reincarnation is very important, okay? Why? Because we talking something out of the science capacity. And more science develop, and they are very, very curious, or how to say, the open-minded scientist, very, very interesting. Because in their research, they can find so many things they never imagined and always disagreed. Of course, inflexible, how do you say, narrow-minded, these people, of course, disagreeing without good logic, good reason. So I'll tell you why is reincarnation is out of the capacity of science. Because science means you working on everything on the physical level, physical capacity, physical experiment. So when we say, I will born hungry ghost, where I born God realm, where I go demigods, all of them, we're not talking about this body, not this physical at all. So that means the quantum physics, the most recent developed, they found only something is more faster than light's speed. Everywhere same time. Or many things out of blowing mind. That means you make one step to understand the mind. Only one step. So that means you realize there is something else than physical, not even a light. So that is Buddha talking about over 2,000 years ago, almost 3,000 years ago. Reincarnate, please think about that. A simple way, think about our mind. Who, like, finally, Buddhists say there is no self, but temporarily, there is self, and this self have room for all the karma. So wherever you go, you carry this karma. If it's physical, then it's too much. You cannot overload it. But it's not physical. That's why the quantum physics say everywhere, everything can be anything. That's all they know. So see, this is, you can temporarily interpret the karma. And also they say, million last years, two different particles, they recognize each other. Or something, they separated some particles, and then one, whatever doing, the other one doing that, no matter how far. So maybe you can interpret it that is a karmic connection. Why that far away make each other effect? Because your karma is same karma. So this natural law organized which one is next to your life. Very complex, but also we can think very simple way. The simple way of thinking is all our actions generated from mind, our mind activity. And mind is not physical, so all the discrepancy, the impetus stay there. So that's why innumerable karma. But when you ripen, you need many, many karma together. Just like we are cooking curry or making sandwich, how many things you need? Lots. Everything, whatever we do, need a lot or together, then happens. Same thing, karma. Or your own karma. Nobody interfere in your karma. Somebody else's karma. Because natural law. Nobody can against the natural law. Even the Buddha. If we say Buddha can interfere in natural karma, then it become a Buddha become a god, you know. Then Buddha is become creator. No. Because Buddha himself said no. Buddha said, Ranyin rangam goyinte, rajantak sejing gondikir. Yourself is your liberator, nobody else. What is the Buddha? He make only facilitate you. We all can facilitate others as much and within our capacity. But nobody can control you. Nobody. So we have to understand that. We have to say this is feet in common sense, feet on logic, feet on science, feet in philosophy, feet in intuition. So that means temporarily think about what is ourself. This mind, when I'm talking, you hear. You not just only hear, but you can keep this in your mind. You could be incredible effect from that. And also you can influence others. That's why Dharma is whale. Symbol of Dharma is whale because whale can go everywhere, transportation. So this idea can go anywhere, everyone. So that means another way to think about, nobody can destroy us. Or we can say, we never die. We never die. Temporary our physical body and temporary of the cooperation of our growth of mind associated with physical body collapse, degenerate and collapse. We call death, but actually that's not death. There's no such thing death. There is no real death. Because these are all temporary. You know, our thoughts, our emotions, everything is temporary. Like bubbles, waves on the ocean. Like dusty on the earth. They are temporary. We are the earth. We are the like ocean. No matter what temporarily happening on the surface, deep down, we are continue. Only problem, our continue is not our full choices, because our ignorance didn't know how to make better. So then the actions creating our own future. So that's why Buddhists, the best path is you are liberated from karma, which means when you realize exactly who you are. Right now, normal people, I think the most of our human beings, we don't know who we are. We cannot pinpoint who are us. That's why I'm simple way, our mind is us, not physical. I'm just simple way I talk. But if we hard way analyze it, we don't know who we are, where we are. Finally, we know exactly who you are. That means you're free from everything is free. There is no such thing karma that time. No positive karma, no negative karma, nothing. You are free. That called liberation. That called enlightenment. Not enlightenment is something easily, oh, you go a few months as a retreat and then you done. It's not like that. Whenever you know who you are, and then you have the full confidence and you are free from fear. When you know who you are, that time you have free from fear, free from worry, free from everything, all emotions and thoughts and everything. That is liberation of karma. But until we get that stage, very important to know better rebirth, better rebirth. Just to be human is good enough? No. If you use intelligent, human intelligent, if you use the right way, then human is the best. If you use the wrong way, human is the worst. So that's why think about human birth or pursues human birth to distinguish this. So that means we are already human. So that's already done. Our previous karma, already we are human. So we would like to be pursue human birth. We take our full advantage this time, or we just live as like normal human and we die as a normal human and we don't know where we're going, we don't know who we are. That's up to us. Forget about what religion. Forget about what religion is good, bad, doesn't matter. Who care? The care is we should care. We know who we are. Am I free from fear? Am I free from all the emotions and thoughts, worries, everything? If we would like that, then we have to know who we are. Until then, it's important to generate more positive karma and decrease negative karma. This all we can complicate way say, but the simple way is always watch on your mind, your own mind. Are you motivated, good or bad, selfish or compassionate? Just watch that. That's it. Also, I want to, maybe this is not necessary for normal people, new people, but a little bit you know in once. Normal rebirth or rebirth in Pure Land or enlightenment is very big different three, okay? Don't mix up together. Normal rebirth means you have no idea where you go, who you are, you don't have no idea. They just next life, you born whatever born, you have no idea who you are. This is easy. Today we are here. Is anybody know who you are, where you come from, previous life? Who's your parents last, or what kind of animal you are last time, or you are human or God or demigod or whatever? Do you know? And do you know when you're going to die and what kind of you reborn? Nobody, no idea. So that is normal human. So then your rebirth is normal. We don't know where, whatever. But if you want above this little bit, then you keep watching your mind, you know, learn more wisdom and be a bit more compassionate. Be compassionate means also not saying be more emotional and sad, watch other people suffering and sad, doesn't mean that. It means be kind, you know how to be kind, the same time how to be strong. Strong kind, compassion means strong kind, not weak kind emotional, okay? Learn more wisdom and be your compassion, then learn the Pure Land. What is the Pure Land? Try to learn, have knowledge. And then if you have some inspiration arises, then you accumulate this all merit in your life and dedicate on rebirth and human, not human, the Pure Land. That means you will born a Pure Land. That doesn't mean you are enlightened. You are not enlightened yet, but you have a special rebirth. So that means there is conditions much more better than normal human, normal samsara, normal beings. That means there is so much condition of wisdom, compassion, and fast your spiritual path. So that means you have incredible opportunity to become enlightened. Not is you already enlightened, okay? You reborn, Pure Land means. So enlightened means you can be enlightened in Pure Land, but also you can be enlightened in this impure land. It depends on your capacity, depends who you are and where you act. But Pure Land is much more easier because the conditions, there is no distractions. Here is so many obstacles, so many distractions, so many challenges you have to overcome. You have to be strong, basically, to reach enlightenment here. But in pure land, then you already strong because your rebirth is special. And your condition is perfect, zero obstacle. So that means guarantee reach enlightenment whenever. When, how long is dependent who you are. Okay? That's it. If no more rebirth, they don't know how long. A trillion times they have to rebirth, or you don't know. So that is the difference. Another way saying, enlightenment, become enlightened means you are totally free from fear, free from worry. Nothing can make you worry, nothing make you fear. If you becomes like that, I think we can call enlightened. But even similar like this still a lot. So that means you are good practitioner or not good practitioner. Do you reduce any of your fear? Have you gained any confidence, on the spiritual path? I mean, how much you gain confidence, your progress of enlightened path. So that's measures. Okay, so I stop here. If you have any questions, last week teaching and this teaching. So I answered those.
Okay, so if you have any questions for Rinpoche, you can write them on Facebook in the comments, or you can ask here in the Q&A or the chat on Zoom. So the first question, Rinpoche, is it possible as an insect to have a positive motivation that would create a human rebirth? Because if animals and insects don't have the capacity to purify their karma, how can they then get reborn as a human after being an animal?
That answer is no possible. That's why I'm saying human birth is special. Sometimes somebody survives enlightened beings manifest as insects. That's exception. But is normal or rare insects? No. You have to wait until you are not insects. Until then, you cannot do anything.
Okay.
But insects, 1 day or 2 days, a few days, and not very long, so it's okay. We are even born humans. So many people a year until die, don't do anything. I mean, don't do anything that's intelligent, something special.
Okay, so another question, Rinpoche, is like the rebirth, like, is it like a linear thing? Like, do we become, like a mineral or a plant and an insect and an animal to human? So then how can we go down to become like a Ashura or hungry ghost?
So the microorganism, or I don't know the scientist names. Yes, some some plants, those similar capacity is like a sentient being, but it's never be the same capacity. So that means we not categorize as a sentient being. So that means they're not possessed as incredible, this strong you know, incredible capacity, the mind, not possessed that kind. Only some kind of like chemical functions of a similar sentient being.
So then what would a human being need to redo that would cause them to be born as an insect?
Redo.
Like what could a human do in life that would then lead them to be reborn as an insect?
I said it, we don't know exactly, only Buddha know. I said many times, remember? But could be anything, you know, like if you say, okay, somebody you hated, so then you say, oh, you look like insects. With hatred, if you say that, you could reborn as insects one time, maybe only one time. Maybe if you not too hated, maybe only one time. But if, of course, if you one day regret it, you purify it, and then maybe you don't have to.
Okay, so if I'm in a moment where I have a lot of emotions and I'm about to make a lot of negative karma, is there anything I can still do to prevent it?
Yes, because the emotions arise from ignorance. So you need more develop knowledge, where they come from, how that's one way. And logically you learn many things, and then you know then the emotions you know, no basis. And then you realize, and then you become less emotion. But the other way, you always watch your emotions rather than dominated by emotion, and you just watch them as like you are a watcher. And that also helps. There's other way is the Tantayana way, but that's maybe we not necessarily talk today.
Rinpoche, is there a difference between rebirth and reincarnation?
The same thing, and when we said there's just language matter. Can you explain that, Chloe? Rebirth.
I think in English we usually save the reincarnation for sort of the idea of like lamas or great beings who choose their rebirth, and we usually refer to everything else as rebirth.
Yeah, but it's a rebirth means we are human rebirth, you know, right now. Everybody is a human rebirth, right?
Yes, yes. But I think in English, it's the same thing, but in English, the choice of word of reincarnation usually refers to a great being who directs their next life with awareness into human, like a next becomes reborn.
Yeah, but that is that the explaining wrong, because they only think when it's a reincarnation, we're thinking about who recognized the reincarnation. Somebody recognized, oh, such and such the reincarnation, this one is this. But the reality is everybody is a reincarnation.
Exactly.
Even insects, everybody.
Okay.
Everybody reincarnated. There's no one single thing not reincarnated.
If somebody kills themselves, can they have another perfect human rebirth?
More likely no, because the killing oneself is not permitted. Is because you killing yourself is very, very ignorance, because this incredible precious human birth, you didn't know how to take advantage, and then you kill yourself means it is full of ignorance, and yeah, you waste incredible. So that's why it definitely is bad consequences. However, temporary. Remember, nothing's forever. Even you have a bad consequences for trillion years. I'm not saying this one have trillion years, but anything. That means you killed million people and you have trillion years go to hell. Is still temporary. Is not forever. Just remember this always, because everybody have habit or forever, go to hell or bad consequences or everything. People are always thinking like forever. So why is big deal? That's what I'm saying. Like the insects, one day you be insects, only one day. Your lifespan is only one day. What is the big deal? Why is inconceivable for you?
So Rinpoche, if we all are reincarnations or can have a rebirth, can we choose the country or the family that we get to be reborn in?
You can only choose when you are very high level of the spiritual path. Otherwise, no possible. Do you know how to choose now? Like that. And do you even remember how did you choose?
So this then goes back to the confusion around the English words rebirth and reincarnation. So since we've now clarified that everyone is a reincarnation, the question is, do Buddhas and Bodhisattvas reincarnate or do they manifest?
They never reincarnate. So better to use reincarnation is something in the samsara. Samsaric being reborn another samsara. I think better to understand that way, because that many people mixed too much. So bodhisattvas, Buddhas, bodhisattvas never be reborn. You can understand that way, maybe easier. This is not a classic way to explain it. They don't have that explanation. This is my explanation. Is easier because manifest means you can be many, not one. So you are Buddhas, you are in the Pure Land, but your manifestations everywhere. And also you chooses, you go, is you reborn means you have no choice.
Okay, so we've got, we're going to continue on, let's see which one. With, so now if somebody is a spiritual guru, and they achieve the rainbow body, and all of the body of becomes rainbow light. Does that mean that the body cells also don't have a rebirth, or that all the individual body cells have that condition to realize rainbow light?
What? Body cells, what? No
So
condition.
they're thinking all the cells of a person's body as well. If this guru, you know, achieves the rainbow body and then completely, when they pass away, they don't leave anything. They're wondering, I think they're wondering if all the cells in the person's body also had that condition.
Okay, I don't really understand what try to get in.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think it could be related to things in science that, you know, look at organisms live in the body, and we're made up of all sorts of cells and bacteria and things as part of a being.
Okay, the answer is I don't know what you question exactly, but also even you, I think your question, even I understood. I don't really know. We can only guess because rainbow means what for scientists? Think about that. And everything is illusion anyway. So, I mean, according to Buddhism, according to science, the rainbow also illusion. So when we say just rainbow body, which means you don't see the big chunk of the physical body, or even something becomes smaller, and then also I think people put in that category. So I don't know that scientifically checked what the organisms different. I don't know.
Okay, so some teachers, Rinpoche, encourage their students to make the wish to obtain a human body in the next life. Other Rinpoches encourage their students to be reborn in the Pure Land. Which one is better?
I think is the reborn human, the Pure Land is much better. But make sure the reason is that you want to liberate sentient beings. If you do that, then it's much better, you know. But if you reborn a human, the reason is you want again help sentient beings, that's also okay. That's not bad too. But I think compare that, as long as basis on that bodhicitta, you know, like the reason is the liberate sentient beings, then is Pure Land is better, much better. And the other one, not bad. But without that reason, without that liberation of sentient being, just selfish reason, I want to go Pure Land, I don't know. There will be on Pure Land or not, I'm not sure.
Okay, so we have some more that relate to the Pure Land. This relates to if someone's an evil person and they're dying and they suddenly have good knowledge of the Dharma when they're dying, and they make the aspiration to go to the Pure Land by chanting to the Buddha, isn't it unfair that they did all these bad things, but now can they go to the Pure Land?
Okay, somebody is an evil person, entire life done all bad things. When they die, and suddenly that will not, more likely never happens. But if it happens, definitely is something good thing, is not bad thing. But of course, no guarantee go to Pure Land. But maybe one day, trillion lifetimes or whatever, one day maybe, you know, you put one condition to reborn human Pure Land one day.
Okay, so I think this probably answered this question, but I'll ask just to clarify for the person who asked. If somebody commits suicide, but in the last moment of their consciousness, they control their mind to make an aspiration to go to the Pure Land, will they go to the Pure Land?
Go to the Pure Land is one condition is not enough, okay? Remember, we are just making a cupcake. How many conditions we need, you know? We need thousands, actually, you know, at least thousands, could be millions. So that's why one condition is not enough. Definitely not enough, but who knows, this person have a lot of conditions already in the previous lifetimes. That's it.
Okay, so I think that also answers the person's question that if you want to go to the Pure Land, yeah, you can't end your life early. So that answers that question as well. Another question. In some Pure Lands, there seems like there are sentient beings of heaven and human beings. Could you be reincarnated accidentally as like a deva in a Pure Land?
Jiva.
Like a god?
Oh, okay. Pure Land, no. Pure Land, there is no no samsara beings. So in Pure Land means Buddha's mind manifest is not normal realm is sentient beings collective karma manifest as a realm. But Pure Land means Buddha, whoever Buddha, whichever Buddhas, and their mind manifest as a realm. So no possible to be anything not should be in the Pure Land.
Okay. So for the few people who are asking about Shambhala Pure Land and Amitabha Pure Land, Rinpoche is going to give teachings on both of those November 13th and 14th, just to let you know, since there are some more questions about that. But we're going to stick a little bit more on the reincarnation questions and rebirth, and there's a few more questions for that. So what's the most effective practice that we can do to clean our bad karma?
What most effective do? There is many things you can do, but depend who you are and where you at. So I think is keep good mind, wishing for everybody the best, especially focus, whoever you access, who you will work with together, your relative, your friends, your colleagues, your enemies, who you have a jealous, don't like, annoying. These ones, if you practice focus those to not jealous other people have success. Instead you have jealous, you rejoice and very happy. Try to rejoice, and the people annoying ones, you only annoying their actions, but don't hate the person and have compassion to the person. And these things, I think you focus, anybody can focus that you can dedicate to purify your negative karmas. But I think if you do that, definitely automatically purify your negative karmas.
Okay. So the Buddha taught some methods for practices that are called paralyzing, increasing, summoning, expelling. Are these methods to stop the progress of our bad karma?
That method is only for who is very high level of Tantra practitioner. Only for them. That means mastery of the compassion. You know, you are mastery of the compassion, mastery of the love, and mastery of these, attainments. Even you paralyze them or whatever you do, it for the ultimate benefits. If you cannot do these benefits is much more bigger than paralyzed, then you can't paralyze them. You can't control them. You can't. No.
Okay. What advice, Rinpoche, would you give to somebody who has thoughts that they want to kill somebody that they hate and then kill themselves because they don't believe in reincarnation and they just think that's the end? How would you try to explain this?
You don't have to believe reincarnation. You just have to say, hatred cannot cure the hatred. You make suffer somebody cannot cure your suffering. You have to do the opposite, the antidote, love and forgiveness. But love and forgiveness have huge bases. Why I have to love and why forgive? The huge philosophy, not just say, oh, you have to love, you have to forgive. So try to understand those and explain those.
Okay, Rinpoche, I've heard, okay, even if I can't be reborn in a Pure Land, but I don't want to be reborn in the 3 evil realms, is it true that the richer I am, the easier it will be for me to do many Dharma activities and so not fall into the lower realms?
Okay, so I think everybody can reborn pure realm, especially Shambhala, if you enough learn the knowledge and if you enough try enough, everybody can do it. So I think we shouldn't think about not born lower realms, that's enough. Not enough. Why? Because you not born lower realms means is temporary. Maybe 10 lifetimes, 20 lifetimes, 100 lifetimes, maybe you're not born lower realms, but who knows after that? Huh? So it's better to aim Pure Land for everybody, because you have to Pure Land, reborn Pure Land like Shambhala, you have to think why you want to born Shambhala, because I not only just purely I want free from suffering, not only that reason, but I can manifest when I'm enlightened, I can manifest and help all sentient beings similar of me, all of them, I can help them. It's not helping is like hard work, is automatic, spontaneous work. So who cannot aim for that? So that details we're going to talk in next time, the Amitabha Pure Land and Shambhala.
So we'll just do another question or two, and any of the questions related to Amitabha and Shambhala Pure Land, there'll be plenty of time November 13th and November 14th during Rinpoche's all-day retreat on these Pure Lands to ask questions. So Rinpoche, does the daily state of my mind match my karma? Does the day-to-day conditions of my mind, is that because of my karma?
Yes, of course matched, but not 100%. So there's half. Some is you have no choice, some is you have choice, if you are be mindful enough.
Okay, I think it's getting late, so the teaching's been quite long, and all of the remaining questions are related to Shambhala Pure Land and Amitabha Pure Land. So I think those would be great for us to revisit on that teaching. Let me just check this last one.
Yeah.
Because there's so many. So I think these are all great questions to save.
Yeah, that next time, yeah. If we have time, the next time, yeah, this.
Okay, so the last question we will ask also has to do with the Pure Land, but it does have to do with reincarnation. So isn't the desire to be reborn in a Pure Land hiding a subtle amount of our ego attachment?
Yes, because who you are depend. Some people have only ego attachment, so that kind of people, they just imagine they're going to Pure Land, but we don't know. Really going to Pure Land or not. But if you are based on bodhicitta, you want to liberate sentient beings, and that's only reason. And then definitely, there is a definite.